Hello and welcome back to Awesomenauts. There has been a gigantic patch and this video should hopefully show you some of the new things. Probably one of the most obvious is going to be in the title. There was a new character added and we'll get to that in a minute. This is patch 2.7 beta, and remember this is beta, so everything is subject to change except for the character being new and whatever. But yes, so this is the sort of patch notes. They'll be in, I guess, here regularly. They've redesigned the menu to make, I don't know, I'm still debating on this whether I like it or not. But there's a new character, Scoop. Scoop will be introduced this patch, useful way to test him out, blah, blah, blah. With 6 people in match with default settings, okay. So there are now beginner missions which are aimed to help new players. I might fiddle around with that later in the video, but I want to get to the fun stuff first. More importantly, the droids and stuff have been reworked, as well as the turrets, and this is some big changes. I wrote down a lot of the changes. The biggest thing, which is right down here, is that everything has been scaled by 10. I'm sort of in different minds about this. Half of me is good that they can be more accurate and to nerf things, they don't have to be so harsh and nerfing them. They can do sort of gradual nerfs, because now they can tune stuff down, because if something did 2 damage, and the only way they could nerf it in the past was to do 1, but I've heard conflicting stories, because some said that they actually rounded in the visuals but not in the calculations, and other people I've heard said they rounded in the calculations and not the actual visuals. So I'm still not sure which one exactly that is, but now everything is times 10. The thing I really do not like about that is how big the damage indicators are on the screen, and you'll see that in the gameplay. But some big things that have changed is the droids now move like way faster. They move a heck of a lot faster. Again, you'll see as soon as we get into a match. Let's just do a bot match in a minute, and I'm actually going to turn down the difficulty because they are stupidly cheaty at the moment. So some other things that have changed: turret health have been increased, because what they're really trying to do is they're trying to make the game last less time, because they really ideally, I think from what I've read, want the games to last 15 to 20 minutes. And so now the average length is like 30 minutes, and so they really want to dial it back, and I think that's why they're sort of making the droids really fast, but also almost all of the abilities that add damage to your abilities, they do not affect the bots anymore. And so a Coco, the lightning ball, which used to do 40, now does 400. When you get the upgrades to do more damage, instead of doing 690, which it should be, to bots, you'll still do only the base 40, and that applies to almost every single Naut that has damage additions to their abilities. A lot of the solar items have been removed, and what they've done with that is they didn't like the flow of that, and so they've replaced them with Leon. They didn't replace all of them. With Leon, they replaced it with a blind instead of the solar gain. With Rey, they replaced it with extra damage to bots, but not to actual characters. So now this is the character. This is Scoop. He is a slow medium support tank. His main primary skill is to throw out a hammer of ice that snares multiple enemies. The longer it flies, the more damage you deal, the longer the snare lasts. Wrap yourself in healing bindings. This is a secondary ability which heals you and damage your opponent. And his primary attack is to alternate between a direct stab and a sweeping cleave attack that heals you. Being a gelatinous being helps in performing high wobbling jumps. He actually doesn't have that high of a jump, but his backstory is the Scoop of Justice is the brave Gelati Knight. Gelati are brilliant craftsmen famous for their delicious castle ice cream. The gelatinous knights gather snow and ice from different planets and mix them with sweet candies and fruits. Although the cocoa trees have never been seen for ages, they are thought to be extinct. The gelati seek as their holy duty to find the real piece of chocolate and create the ultimate flavor of ice cream, the Stracil... I'm not even going to try. Scoop was assigned by the Lords of the House to aid the Awesomenauts in protecting the universe from the new Omicron threat. So, that is his backstory. And actually, Scoop is available to everyone. He's going to be a new Naut to anyone who owns the base game. This is not a Starstorm Naut. And from my understanding, they made him relatively easy to play on purpose so that new players can play him easily. Now, I apologize, I got a new keyboard and it's a mechanical keyboard, and so it might be a little bit louder than all my previous videos, but I really like this keyboard, so I'm not changing it. But this is Scoop. They really missed an opportunity to give him a spoon for his sword. I mean, really. But he's got these two, his melee is these two attacks. Curiously enough, they do not give him a speed debuff, which is kind of interesting. And also he can stab behind him. So I believe the stab actually only goes in front of him, and the swipe sort of goes, I don't know why I'm using my hands, the swipe goes in sort of a sweeping motion. So these are the stats. Does 15 from the old damage. I'll just refer to things in the old damage. 15 minimum damage, 25 maximum damage, and then snare, and then this is his healing ability, this is his stab. His secondary stab, as you can see, the cleave there, it has a 20% lifesteal, and that's really important. This character has a lot of things that heal himself. He's really big and tanky. It's crazy. And that didn't work. Missed him. But as you can see, he wields his sword. I'm just going to steal a creep because I'm a jerk. But his two attacks do two different sets of damage. The first one does 10, and the other does 6. The 6 hit is called a cleave, and that's the lifesteal hit. So you actually gain health back from hitting things. Your second ability, your heal, you wrap yourself in that, and you gain basically 30 health back. His first ability is an ice hammer that he throws like that. It's kind of a combination of Ayla's... oh no, what are you doing? Run, you crazy fool. I don't know how he's getting more health, eh? Yeah, bots are kind of dumb at the moment. But it's kind of a combination between Ayla's eye, because it sort of acts like that. Come on, get back here, you jerk. I wonder if I can stab him through that. No, I guess I can't. Ayla's eye and Nau's cocoon, because it sort of bounces in a very similar way to his cocoon, which is really nifty. And the really interesting thing is that the farther away you do, it does more damage. So if you saw, that was really dumb. It did 183 damage, which is 18 point whatever. But here at close range, you can see it didn't do quite as much. So that's an interesting mechanic. I really like that. Lets you do a different type of skill shot. As you can see, these droids are booking it. So it's droid pushing is pretty crazy in this patch. Oh, did we get one? No, we didn't. Okay. There are a couple of really big bug issues with the bots right now. Primarily Clunk. He doesn't actually do anything anymore. He just sort of sits at the spawn point and just does nothing. So he's a really big liability. The cheats of the bots have just become grossly apparent. I mean, it's crazy how much they cheat, but I don't know if they've just changed things, or I don't even know. But as you can see, the droids, they move a lot faster. Where did my notes go? I mentioned earlier that they, what else was I saying? They removed solar items. So I might be asking, what did they replace? They still have Piggy Bank, but what did they replace Solar Tree with? They replaced it with this upgrade called Zork's Barrier Subscription. It gives you a temporary shield every time you visit the shop. And the cool thing about that is it gives you a nifty little bonus. It's 150 extra damage, I believe, or something like that. So it's pretty cool. But the only problem about it right now is that it's kind of a temporary benefit, and it's not that big, and the only way to recharge it is to go back to the shop. So that really encourages people to just sort of return to the shop even when they don't need to. specifically for the case of only recharging their shield. I mean, I could understand... Hi there, you gonna get more health somehow? It really encourages a playstyle that I'm not too thrilled about seeing. Also, it adds a stun, your Ice Axe there. It adds a stun, which is pretty nifty. It's pretty crazy. So the best way I'd describe him is he's kind of a combination of almost every Awesomenaut. He's got a little bit from everybody. He's got the sort of debuffs from Genji. He's got the healing ability on Punch, like Sko, which is another main character. It's got the initial stab everything, or oh, as you can see, this Clunk is just sitting there. That's why we're kicking their butts. Usually they're putting up a fair bit of a fight, but with a Leon, his stab will pierce everything initially. That would be really sad if we can't win this 2v3 or 3v2. And so he's just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell right now because I'm still only facing bots and they all cheat in their big nasty cheating pants. So I won't know until we actually get to a real match, but from my initial playing, I've played a couple of rounds with him, he seems a little bit powerful. I mean, he can really kind of solo turrets and make a push like insanely strong. Because he can just sit there in front of turrets and take damage, and his main ability, one of his main abilities, is to heal. So he just sits here, soak up a little bit of damage, heal, you know, use your thing to clear the waves. You get heals from killing the other bots, so you make a wave super effective. And I've actually ended a game in like 8 minutes with this guy. Although granted, I think I've had the bots turn really far down. But if you see, this push shouldn't be doing this much, but also because they're not defending, but a couple of reasons for this, but let's see anything else I need to touch on. There's a pretty nasty bug. This probably won't be applied for anyone else watching this, but currently there's a bug where every single Naut gets a shield. That little shield I was talking about. Ow. They get that shield no matter what for some reason. Like every bot comes out of the store without having bought the shield and they have the shield. But anyway, like I said, early beta, it'll be fixed as soon as it gets actually released. Another big thing is that the amount of solar that you get from drops from killing enemy Nauts has been increased. Normally you get 30. I'm not sure if it actually goes to the entire team. I still believe that it still applies 30 damage. Like you get a kill, yep, still gives you 30 damage or 30 solar for killing a turret or killing a enemy Naut. But if you are the one that kills a Naut, you will get 50 solar instead. And so that's a little bit of a bonus. And if you kill a enemy Naut that is on a killing spree, you get an extra 50 solar. So that's 100 solar. So things kind of snowball a lot more than they used to. But we can take a look at his upgrades here. The rest of these upgrades are the standard upgrades. But here, you've got snare duration, which increases snare, damage, increases damage, range, which I think is incredibly useful, lets you hit those skill shots. Cooldown, also very useful. Heal, I haven't found too effective because you're usually at the front of things, so you can't really shoot behind you to kill them. And movement is a little bit useful. I usually just stick to straight up damage. This is your healing ability. You get more heals. You do damage while you're healing. It's sort of like Froggy's ticker tape. You deal at the end of it. This is you get double damage from your AA while you're charging it up. Adds a healing over time, and this cleanses you, which I believe like removes status effects and things like that. His AA bar is you get attack speed, just straight up damage. It's a 3% upgrade. This is a damage increase buff, when allied Nauts are nearby. So it's very interesting. He deals a lot with characters being nearby. See, this one is when your health is below 50, you deal more damage. So this is 2.5 damage in the old... so it's kind of not that worth it, considering you could just buy this. And it's less... I kind of don't get it. It's straight up worse than this, because this just gives you straight up damage, while this gives you less damage. But anyway, ooh, that's interesting. I need to unlock that to figure out what that exactly does. But those are the upgrades. I usually go for attack speed or damage, because his AA is pretty darn strong. It's kind of crazy. Boop. Ow. Nope, heal me. Heals. Let's see if I got 400 now, which is the equivalent of 40. In the old health engine, the oldie. That's good shot. Going to work, but as you can see, it pierces. You get lots of healing. You can just push things like crazy. Like, I'm just gonna sit here, tank the damage as I can. Oh, nope. Come back here. Boop, 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 boop. See, I'm back to full health. You basically don't even need a Voltar, and I'm kind of afraid at what a Voltar teammate will do to a Scoop. Couldn't think of his name for a second. A Scoop team comp, so it's kind of scary at the moment. Also, his thing pierces a scree wall, which is another interesting factoid. Oh, Clunk has finally decided to do something, except he's just, you know, like standing straight up and not doing anything. Not biting. Does he have any upgrades? Let's see. Nope, he doesn't have any upgrades, so he's just sitting there. Poor soul. Let's just come out of misery. But he's a really interesting character. I kind of like him, but I think he needs to be toned back a little bit, first of all. Because he's a little bit crazy in the current state. I'm kind of in a mixed bag about the droid changes, because I don't know, I don't think you can really mess with that much. It's totally gonna mess up everything. Everyone's used to the old speed. It's, I don't know, just doesn't feel right to me, and maybe I'll grow to maybe not like it, but understand it fuller. Oh wow, I didn't expect you to actually kill him. But one thing that kind of saddens me is you can't sort of do like a bank shot on these guys. If you hit something once, you can't hit it again, which is kind of a bummer, because I think that would be a really cool, nifty skill shot kind of thing. If you can get it so it bounces on and off someone, I think that would be really cool. But so creep are a lot harder to deal with, and I'm guessing they're planning to do that, or they did that change so that you could push turrets easier and just like, if you see this, look how much beating I'm taking, and probably gonna end up dying. But he's kind of a nuts character right now in the terms of sustainability. You can just sort of sit here and soak up damage, and I thought Scree was a big damage soak, but Scoop is definitely more so a damage hog. But let's quickly end this game. Ow, come on. Yep, just sit there and die. Okay. Doop doop doop. See, I'm just sitting here absorbing all the damage. Let my bots do the work. And yeah, kind of crazy at the moment, but aren't all characters stupidly overpowered when they first come out? Let's actually end this here, because we don't need to. Well, I guess I probably should have to get more XP. Let's see, what else do I have in my knots? Shield upgrade, droids move faster. Okay, the respawn timer has been tweaked a little bit. The minimum is now 5 seconds. So that means whenever you die, you will have a minimum 5-second wait. Let's go to the other side so we can see what the blue skin looks like. And what we will also do is turn it up to full so we can see late game Scoop in action. So let's do this. Scoop. But yeah, they've increased the minimum to 5 seconds and decreased the maximum to 25 seconds. So, I don't know, it's kind of penalizing deaths even more because you lose more solar on death. You now lose 50 instead of 30. So it's really encouraging snowballing, which isn't the greatest kind of thing. But let's go full health because I think that is the best. The shield is nifty, but if you don't go back to the shop a lot, it's kind of useless. But for me, I think I'm going to go with cooldown and... oh wow, killed someone. Let's get the maximum healing. Let's get damage and healing over time. Oh my gosh, we're just wrecking some face out there. And then I'm not sure if that actually counts as knots or if it counts as hi there, you missed me. So now you get to see the cheaty bots in action. Killed him. Didn't get any health from that. That's kind of interesting. Whew. Man. But it's basically like getting a free health pack whenever you use your secondary ability, which is kind of crazy. See, and look, I'm full health again. So he, at the end game, is a beast at the moment. So that's a little crazy. He looks like, wow, look, I just did... Man, bot AI is kind of dumb at the moment. But he is, like, just wrecking this, this turret at the moment. And, oh dear, this could be a problem. Howie! Run! Ow! Late game super bots with lots of cheaty bits to it. So looking at my notes, I don't think there's that much else to talk about. Kind of a crazy patch. It's definitely completely changing things with the whole pacing of the game. So we'll just have to wait and see how that affects things. Because they've certainly been doing a lot to change things. They've added the new shop mechanic, which has kind of changed a lot of things, made hard counters harder. See, like, look at this. We can probably just go up here and boop, 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 boop. Just charge a skill turret, you know, solo turret, which has always been a thing I haven't liked. Like, the fact that you can take on a turret by yourself just kind of doesn't sit right with me. It's never sit right with me, because, like, look at this. This is just insane. Levels of insanity. I've just basically took all that damage to the face, and now I'm perfectly fine. So, yeah, that's what the range effect does to things. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, interesting enough, the your sort of stab damages behind you. So if you look, I'm actually aiming in front of me, but I'm hitting both of them. So it's the over-the-shoulder slash is sort of a AOE attack, and your forward slash is a forward slash, kind of like your Hi there. Oh no, I'm about to die. No, I'm not. Lol, health. Like, if you look, see that frog has a shield, and he doesn't actually have the shield upgrade. These guys are getting that sort of extra shield for free, which is kind of an issue, because it makes the bots stupidly powerful at the moment. So, just a little bug that needs to be fixed. Wow, that was fast. Late game OP. What can you say? But yeah, this has been the 1.7 or 2.7 rather, right? 2.7. Am I crazy? 2.7, yeah. The Frozen Frontier. So he is available to everyone. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's watch has been the new place for the replays. Okay, so you can change the keys for the... Whew. Okay, well, I just learned something very important. Do not press this browse replay folder while frapsing something. It minimizes and just crashes the game and fraps, and for a second I thought I had lost everything I had just recorded. Whew, that was a bit of a heart attack. But I think that is going to be it. This is the new system. It's actually not going to be it. Let's go to settings and we'll say reset intro missions. And so play through the tutorial. Okay. So it looks like it's just gonna be okay. Blah 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 blah. Welcome, Mr. Lone Star. But yeah, we're not gonna be playing through this. So I will see you when. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna level up a little bit, and we're gonna take a look at that last upgrade. It's been a while since I've played this. Interesting glitch here. Himmerpants says 0 damage added. Yay! Let's see if it actually added 0 damage. I think it did. It did. Yeah, that's gotta be a missing digit somewhere. Okay, just realized that that test right there wasn't accurate. So I don't think that actually activated that damage. So I actually think it's broken. So okay, just farmed some levels, so let's just go get to this. I found this is a pretty fun build, but what we're gonna do is that attack speed and stab damage and damage of that. This was pretty fun to play with. Oh boy, we've got a clunk. Oh well. Oh, so does it mean that kind of creep? Oh, okay. I didn't quite realize that. Holy heck. Holy heck. That is pretty nuts there. If that's so, okay, let's test that real quick. Okay. Deal me damage. Don't kill me though. Okay, that's what that does. That's kind of interesting. Fairly unique mechanic. I don't think anyone else has that kind of a mechanic, but certainly interesting. I'm gonna out Ayla the Ayla! Haha, sucker! Oh. Anyway, Scoop is a fairly fun character. He's got rather unique properties, and I think he's gonna be an interesting sort of newbie Naut. Because I think that's kind of what they've been intending him to be. He's got a lot of potential, but he seems to be fairly easy to do. So I'm excited about seeing him in a real game once they've balanced him a little bit better. But yeah, but because right now he is not quite balanced, not really at all. But he has some really interesting mechanics, and I'd love to see what people do with them. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Hey, that even affects the parrot. Cool.